Good day and welcome back to the channel. Today we're making breakfast, but I think what's more important about this video is not the what so much as the why. Welcome back to the Farm Cook channel. This is the place where you get to eat well, have fun, and hopefully learn lots, especially about low carb and keto cooking. So now let's get ready and make some dinner. All right, today we're going to be making breakfast, but I think it's something that I wanted to share with folks about why it is that I'm making the breakfast that I'm making. Not because I had some overwhelming, oh my gosh, I really feel like having sausage and eggs this morning, which is what we're going to be making, but more about the why. So here's a little background. I started doing a ketogenic diet probably 7, 8, 9 years ago. Can't remember exactly when I started, but it was at a point in my life where I had really enjoyed a lot of food and my weight started creeping up and my fasting blood sugar started increasing, and I decided I needed to make a change. And from the research that I had done, a ketogenic diet seemed like it would make the most sense. And it did. I dropped a bunch of weight, my blood sugars went down. I have had an awesome A1C, so I think I caught things relatively early in the process. But it was clear to me that there was something amiss with my metabolic health. And the way to address that, the way to try and drive down the increase in insulin and the resulting complications of having that chronically elevated insulin level, to me, suggests the need to move to reducing the number of carbs to trying to improve the number of ketones in my diet. And that's exactly what I've done, and it's been great. And this channel has been devoted to trying to make sure people understand it's not that you have to sacrifice flavor. It's not that you have to sacrifice anything. It's actually just, it's a great way of eating just from a usual ongoing daily kind of thing. Now, so what happens if, for example, you're at a situation where you're eating carbs because that's what's available or because that's what's socially appropriate and acceptable? And that's the situation I found myself in a couple of nights ago. My wife and I went out to dinner. We're celebrating something, and one of the things that we both very, very much enjoy is pizza. So we're trying a place, having pizza. It was awesome. And by the way, I am not a strict, keto person. I am doing something that works for me, which means every once in a while, when it's socially appropriate, when it's a celebration, when it's something special, I will have a very carb-heavy meal, which is what happened 2 nights ago. But the recovery from that is what's important. And this is a video explaining a little bit about my rationale for why I'm doing what I'm doing. So this morning, I checked my blood glucose and my ketone levels. And I saw that my ketones were only 0.3. So that's an indication to me that, one, I'm still in a little bit of ketosis, but not exactly where I want to be. So how do we address that? Well, you can do that with a variety of different mechanisms. You can increase the interval between times when you eat, sort of the time-restricted feeding, or you can do a fast to try and burn up whatever glycogen and glucose stores that you have in your liver that will eventually drive down your blood glucose and drive down the insulin and increase the amount of ketones in your blood. And that's partly what I'm going to do. Yesterday, I had a regular sort of keto kind of a day. Today, I'm going to make some eggs with some sausage and some cheese to try to not only keep me very happily fed for the morning, but it also means I won't need lunch. So that will help, A, decrease the calories that are coming in, B, allow my body to burn up glycogen and decrease the amount of insulin that is needed to maintain normal glucose homeostasis. And the way that I'm going to do that, a very filling, fat-heavy meal that's very easy, very quick. I've got 3 eggs already starting to sit and whip up. I've got 1 sausage link. It's a hot sausage that I gotten from local store. Just cooked up the entire batch. I think there are 15 in the pack for something like $6 or $7. I can't remember. It was on sale. Those are awesome to have available, and I keep some of those already cooked, ready to go sausages in the freezer. I can just defrost them whenever I need to. And a couple of slices of cheese. So this is it. This is going to be a quick and easy breakfast. So I follow Chef Andrew Gruel on X, and his suggestion for helping your eggs get super floofy is when you're getting them ready, add a little bit of salt while you're getting everything else ready. So break the eggs, start whipping them first, add a little bit of salt, just a couple of drops of water, and that the salt and a little bit of the water helps the protein fibers relax a little bit so that your eggs can incorporate some more air and result in floofy eggs. So that's what I'm doing. So aside from the salt, these have not been seasoned. Like I haven't added any garlic powder, onion powder, anything like that. It's just plain old floofy eggs. A spicy sausage, a hot sausage, just a regular, store brand sausage that's already been cooked. I'm just heating it up in the pan and gonna drop in the eggs. Got 3 slices of Cooper sharp cheese ready to go, and I'm just waiting for the pan to get hot. We're almost there. Drop in a little bit of butter, because butter makes everything better. And it adds awesome fat, which is going to help with not only maintaining ketosis, but also increasing satiety. So I just fine dice those that already cooked hot sausage, and I'm just heating it up in the pan. So this is super quick, super easy. Anybody can do this at home. A little easier to stomach now that egg prices are coming down a little bit. But even with egg prices being what they were, the price of a couple of eggs, the price of a individual sausage link, the price of a couple of slices of Cooper sharp cheese, altogether for really functionally 2 meals worth, and maybe 3 if you're somebody that is interested in extending that interval between feedings. You could easily make this a 24-hour fast and live off of what's in this meal plus whatever is stored on you. But for me, I think what I'm going to do is just omit lunch today, retest my ketones tomorrow morning when I'm fasting, and see where I'm at. And if I need to make additional adjustments, if I need to sort of stretch out that interval between feedings to try and drive down the insulin, which will then increase the ketones, that's what I'll do. And for those of you that are not quite sure about what this all means, it's okay. It's not super, it is ridiculously complicated, but the general principle is if your blood sugar is increasing and you're seeing some of the consequences of that, that generally means that the insulin that your body is producing is not functioning as well as it needs to. That's the term insulin, where the term insulin resistance comes from. So if you're developing increases in blood sugar, that's not great, but what it really means is it's not a blood sugar problem, it's an insulin resistance problem. And insulin resistance leads to all sorts of negative health consequences, including increased risk for type 2 diabetes, increased risk for hypertension, increased risk for cardiovascular disease, increased risk for Alzheimer's disease, increased risk for, Parkinson's disease. There's all these awful consequences from becoming insulin resistant. And unfortunately, there's kind of an epidemic of it in this country right now. So what do you do about it? Eat really good food, like floofy eggs with some sausage and some cheese. Eating this way does not mean that you have to suffer at all. You can very much enjoy You just have to be careful in what you're eating and be aware of what you're eating and understand the consequences. And one of the things that I think is very helpful is using a ketone meter, using a blood glucose meter to try and measure exactly what's going on and really understand what are the consequences for you, because everybody reacts differently. So that's another way of saying, this is what I'm doing. This isn't an advice video. Hopefully it's a little bit of explaining and understanding why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I've been doing this long enough so I have a pretty good understanding of how my body reacts. Oops. And what I need to do to maintain that balance of glucose, blood glucose, ketones, and keep my insulin levels relatively low, appropriately low. So that's it. Eggs for breakfast with some Cooper sharp cheese, some sausage. Because I mixed the eggs in with the cheese, it's a little sticky. Gotta make sure you get all that goodness off. But this is the kind of thing that will keep you satisfied, quite content throughout the day, full, happy. This stuff is very hot, so I'm gonna let it dissipate just a little bit before diving in. But awesome floofy eggs, little bits of sausage in every bite, just yummy. You can see the melty cheese glistening. That's not runny eggs, that's fat from the cheese. Man, is that good. I might throw a little sriracha on here, but it's quite tasty as is. So anyway, breakfast, Farm Cook Kitchen, and the why. Drive down the glucose, drive down insulin, increase ketones. And that's what you can do to try and manage your health, keep you at the right weight, and metabolically as healthy as you can. Thanks.